Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Gaurang Dhawanlal and with me is Nishit Kumar with the evening news. The headlines. Innovation in farming is the need of the hour, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Releases 10th installment of Pradhan Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme of over 20,000 crore rupees. Home Minister Amit Shah says government committed to making farmers self-reliant. Registration for COVID vaccination of children between 15 and 18 years begins on CoWIN portal. Prime Minister to lay foundation stone of Major Dhyan Chand Sports University in Meerut tomorrow. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir orders high-level inquiry into today's stampede in Vaishno Devi. Ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to next of kin of deceased from Prime Minister's Relief Fund to be given. And Education Minister Dharmendra launches nationwide 100 days reading campaign Padhe Bharat. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause for concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact the national helpline numbers 011-239-78046 and 1075. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today released the 10th installment of financial benefit under the Pradhan Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme through video conferencing. More than 20,000 crore rupees were transferred to over 10 crore farmer families. Mr. Modi also released an equity grant of more than 14 crore rupees to about 351 farmer producer organizations, FPOs, which will benefit more than 1,24,000 farmers. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said it is his honor to begin the new year with the country's Annadatas. He said the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi is a big support for India's farmers.
देश के करोड़ों किसान परिवारों को, विशेषकर छोटे किसानों को प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि की 10वीं किस्त मिली है। किसानों के बैंक खातों में 20,000 करोड़ रुपए ट्रांसफर किए गए हैं। हमारे किसान उत्पाद संघ, फार्मर्स प्रोड्यूस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, इससे जुड़े किसानों को आर्थिक सहायता भी भेजी गई है।
Including today's transfer, more than 1,80,000 crore rupees have been transferred directly to the accounts of farmers. Mr. Modi said, today the power of every Indian is transforming India and giving new momentum and energy to the development of the country. The Prime Minister said that through FPOs, small farmers are experiencing the power of collective strength. He pointed out 5 benefits of FPOs for small farmers. These benefits are increased bargaining power, scale, innovation, risk management and adaptability to market conditions. Mr. Modi said, keeping in mind the benefits of FPOs, the government is promoting them at every level.
साथियों, FPOs की इसी शक्ति को समझते हुए आज हमारी सरकार ने उन्हें हर स्तर पर प्रोत्साहित कर रही है। इन FPOs को 15 लाख रुपए तक की मदद भी मिल रही है। इसी का नतीजा है कि आज देश में ऑर्गेनिक FPO, इसके क्लस्टर्स, ऑयल सीड के क्लस्टर्स, बैम्बू क्लस्टर्स और हनी FPOs जैसे क्लस्टर्स तेजी से बढ़ रहे हैं। हमारे किसान आज वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट, वन प्रोडक्ट जैसी योजनाओं का लाभ उठा रहे हैं।
The Prime Minister once again pushed for the promotion of natural farming. He said that chemical-free farming is a major way of protecting soil health. Mr. Modi said natural farming is a key step in this direction. The Prime Minister called upon farmers to keep on doing innovation in farming and support movements like cleanliness. Mr. Modi said, today the growth rate of our economy is more than 8% and record foreign investment has come into India. He said India has made many records in foreign direct investment, GST, collections and exports. The Prime Minister said India has also done UPI transactions worth over 70 lakh crore rupees in 2021. He said more than 50,000 startups are working in the country.
आज बहुत से इकोनॉमिक इंडिकेटर्स उस समय से भी अच्छा कर रहे हैं जब कोरोना हमारे बीच नहीं था। आज हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था की विकास दर 8% से भी ज्यादा है। भारत में रिकॉर्ड विदेशी निवेश आया है। मुद्रा भंडार रिकॉर्ड स्तर पर पहुंचा है। जीएसटी कलेक्शन ने भी पुराने रिकॉर्ड ध्वस्त कर दिए हैं। निर्यात और विशेषकर कृषि के मामले में भी हमने नए प्रतिमान स्थापित किए हैं।
The Prime Minister said India is moving with unprecedented speed towards building an Atmanirbhar Bharat. He said the government has launched the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for infrastructure development to give a new pace to infrastructure construction in the country.
व्यापार कारोबार को आसान बनाने के लिए अनेक निर्णय लिए गए। पीएम गति शक्ति नेशनल मास्टर प्लान देश में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर निर्माण की गति को नई धार देने वाला है। मेक इन इंडिया को नए आयाम देते हुए देश ने चिप निर्माण, सेमी कंडक्टर जैसे नए सेक्टर के लिए महत्वाकांक्षी योजनाएं लागू की है। रक्षा क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए देश को 7 रक्षा कंपनियां मिली हैं। हमने पहली प्रोग्रेसिव ड्रोन पॉलिसी भी लागू की है। डिजिटल इंडिया अभियान भारत में हो रहे विकास को गांव-गांव तक ले जाने में बड़ी भूमिका निभा रहा है।
The Prime Minister said, leading the world against climate change, India has also set a target of net zero carbon emission in front of the world by 2070. He said, today India is working on the hydrogen mission and taking a lead in electric vehicles. During the event, Prime Minister also interacted with FPOs.
इंद्रपाल जी, आपके सामने कुछ बोतल पड़ी है, किस चीज की पड़ी है? टेबल पर नजर आ रही है।
सर, ये हमारा शहद है जो हम इस प्रकार इसको बेचते हैं और हमने शुरू भी किया है, लोकल मार्केट में अब बेच रहे हैं। पर जैसे ही प्रोसेस यूनिट हमारे यहाँ लग जाएगी तो हम अपने शहद को प्रोसेस करा के इन पूरे साधनों का इस्तेमाल करते हुए मेड इन भरतपुर शहद को पूरे भारतवर्ष और विदेशों में भी पहचान दिलाने की कोशिश करेंगे, ऐसी आशा है हमें।
देखिए, राजस्थान और गुजरात, हम 2 राज्य ऐसे हैं जहाँ पानी की किल्लत रहती है, लेकिन आपने हनी का उद्योग किसानों को जोड़ करके जो काम शुरू किया है, उससे मधु भी मिलेगा और बी वैक्स भी मिलेगा, उसकी भी बहुत बड़ी खपत होती है। तो मेरी तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई। रविंदर जी, बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से आपने विषय को प्रस्तुत किया। आपका काम पूरे देश के लिए प्रेरणा है। मैं चाहता हूं कि सभी किसान भाई पराली प्रबंधन से संबंधित जानकारी को ज्यादा से ज्यादा आप साझा करें। जैसे आप और आपके साथियों ने जिस तरह पराली प्रबंधन का कार्य बेहतर तरीके से किया है, आसपास के किसानों को प्रेरित करके पराली जलाने से रोका है, वो किसान और पर्यावरण दोनों के लिए लाभदायक है। पराली के वैकल्पिक उपयोग से पर्यावरण को लाभ होता है, साथ ही किसान की आर्थिक रूप से वो सशक्त होता है। आपको इस प्रयास के लिए मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत बधाई। सभी किसान भाइयों को मेरी तरफ से बधाई।
On this occasion, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said the government has taken several decisions in the last 7 years to transform the lives of farmers.
Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah has expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for transferring 20,000 crore rupees in the accounts of 10 crore farmers under the PM Kisan Yojana today. In a series of tweets, Mr. Shah said, without farmers' empowerment, overall development of the country is not possible, and the country has seen the farmer-friendly Modi government making continuous efforts to make farmers self-reliant for the last 7 years. He said PM Kisan Yojana has done a great job in keeping farmers debt-free by giving them financial support at the most critical time of farming. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Innovation in farming is the need of the hour, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi releases 10th installment of Pradhan Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme of over 20,000 crore rupees. Home Minister Amit Shah says government is committed to make farmers self-reliant. Registration for COVID vaccination of children between 15 and 18 years begins on the CoWIN portal. Prime Minister to lay the foundation stone of Major Dhyan Chand Sports University in Meerut tomorrow. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir orders a high-level inquiry into today's stampede in Vaishno Devi. Ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to be given to the next of the kin of the deceased from the PM's Relief Fund. And Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan launches nationwide 100 days reading campaign Padhe Bharat.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
पहले जो सरकार में थे वो माफिया को संरक्षण देते थे। आज योगी जी की सरकार माफिया की सफाई में जुटी है। ये तभी तो यूपी के लोग कहते हैं फर्क साफ है।
हमारे नए उत्तर प्रदेश में माफियाओं, दंगाइयों और भ्रष्टों पर हो रहा प्रहार है, इसीलिए फर्क साफ है। 2017 से पहले भूमाफिया रहते थे मौज में, 2017 के बाद रहते हैं जेल में, फर्क साफ है।
2017 से पहले भैंस ढूंढने वाली पुलिस 2017 के बाद अपराधियों को काबू करती है, फर्क साफ है।
Welcome back to the evening news. Children between 15 and 18 years can register online on the CoWIN portal from today to receive co-vaccine shots from Monday. To register on the CoWIN site, children can use their school IDs or Aadhaar cards. 6 to 7 crore children in the 15 to 18 age bracket will be eligible to receive co-vaccine. Healthcare and frontline workers and citizens aged 60 and above with comorbidities will be able to access vaccination for the precaution dose through their existing CoWIN account from the 10th of the month. The CoWIN system will send an SMS to eligible persons for availing the precaution dose when it becomes due. In view of the rising cases of COVID-19, the Centre has asked the states and union territories to initiate the creation of field or makeshift hospitals to augment availability of health infrastructure. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said in a letter to the state chief secretaries and health secretaries that the arrangement can be done in coordination with DRDO, CSIR, as well as the private sector, corporations, NGOs and others. Mr. Bhushan said this will add to the process of rapid creation of field hospitals or temporary hospital setups. States were also suggested to consider leveraging hotel rooms and other accommodation linked with COVID-dedicated hospitals in the government and private sectors to cater to patients having symptoms. Mr. Bhushan said that all states must ensure that control rooms at the district level or sub-district or ward levels are made functional. He said a clearly defined mechanism to access testing, ambulance and hospital beds needs to be put in place and communicated to the public at large.
Over 145 crore 16 lakh doses of COVID vaccines have been administered in the country under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Minister said more than 58 lakh 11,000 COVID vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. 8,949 people recovered from the infection during the same period. National recovery rate stands at 98.32%. India has supplied the next batch of humanitarian assistance consisting of 5 lakh doses of COVID vaccine Covaxin to Afghanistan today. It was handed over to Indira Gandhi Hospital, Kabul. Ministry of External Affairs said that another batch of 5 lakh doses would be supplied in the coming weeks. India has committed to provide humanitarian assistance to Afghan people consisting of food grains, 10 lakh doses of COVID vaccine and essential life-saving drugs.
The Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of the Major Dhyan Chand Sports University at Meerut in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Here is a report from our correspondent.
The university will be established at Salawa and Kali villages of Sardhana town in Meerut at an estimated cost of about rupees 700 crores. The sports university will be equipped with modern and state-of-the-art sports infrastructure including synthetic hockey ground, football ground, basketball, volleyball, handball, kabaddi ground, lawn tennis court, gymnasium hall, synthetic running stadium, swimming pool, multi-purpose hall, and a cycling velodrome. The university will also house facilities for shooting, squash, gymnastics, weightlifting, archery, canoeing, and kayaking, among other facilities. The university will have the capacity of training 1,080 sports persons, including 540 female and 540 male sports persons. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 12 people were killed and 16 injured in a stampede at Mata Vaishno Devi Bhavan near Katra this morning. J&K DGP Dilbag Singh said that the incident occurred around 2:45 a.m. Out of the 16 injured admitted to hospital, 9 have been discharged and 7 are being treated by doctors. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha said in a tweet that all the deceased have been identified. 10 bodies have been dispatched to their respective hometowns and 2 others will be sent tomorrow morning. He said he has been monitoring the situation since 3 in the morning. He said he visited the hospital to meet the injured pilgrims. In a tweet, that according to doctors, the injured are stable and being monitored by senior health staff. He directed doctors and senior administrative officials to provide best possible care to patients. He said he is praying for their speedy recovery. Minister of State in the PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh, reached Bhavan to take first-hand information. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed sadness over the tragic incident at Mata Vaishno Devi Bhavan. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur have also expressed grief over the loss of lives at Vaishno Devi Bhavan. An ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund would be given to the next of kin of those who lost their lives due to the stampede at Mata Vaishno Devi Bhavan. The injured would be given 50,000 rupees.
Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan today launched nationwide 100-day reading campaign, Padhe Bharat. The campaign is in alignment with the National Education Policy NEP 2020, which emphasizes on promotion of joyful reading culture for children by ensuring availability of age-appropriate reading books in their mother tongue, regional and local languages. The reading campaign aims to have participation of all stakeholders at the national and state level, including children, teachers, parents, community and educational administrators. Mr. Pradhan said in a tweet, reading books is a healthy habit and a wonderful way to develop cognitive, language and social skills. He said, inspired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call to citizens to read books regularly, he is committed to cultivate a lifetime habit of book reading. The minister encouraged everyone, especially young people, to adopt the habit of reading books. The campaign marks an important step to improve learning levels of students as it develops creativity, critical thinking, vocabulary and ability to express both verbally and in writing. It will help children to relate to their surroundings and the real-life situation. Children studying in Bal Vatika to grade 8 will be part of this campaign. During the campaign, 1 activity per week per group has been designed with a focus on making reading enjoyable and build lifelong association with the joy of reading. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 1 terrorist was killed in an encounter with the security forces in Jumagund area of Kupwara district today. According to a police spokesman, the encounter, which started this evening, was continuing when reports last came in. The identity of the slain terrorist is being ascertained.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion, as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, the 3rd of January 2022. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The first day of the new year is an occasion for greetings. It's a harbinger of those memories of persons and events too that put their mark on the destiny of times. Mahadev Desai, who remained Mahatma Gandhi's personal secretary for 25 years, was born on the 1st of January in 1892 at Surat. His dedication to Mahatma Gandhi is exemplary to the world. He maintained a diary from the 13th of November 1917 to the 14th of August 1942, the day before his death, chronicling his life with Gandhi.
Verrier Elwin wrote of him, he was in fact Home and Foreign Secretary combined. He managed everything and must have saved 10 years of Gandhi's life by diverting from him unwanted visitors.
Mahadev Desai first met Gandhi in 1915 when he sought Gandhiji's advice on how best to publish one of his books. In 1917, Desai joined Gandhi Ashram and also accompanied Gandhiji to Champaran. When the colonial government arrested Gandhiji in 1919, he named Desai as his heir. In 1920, Motilal Nehru requisitioned the services of Mahadev Desai from Gandhi to run his newspaper, The Independent, from Allahabad. When the British government confiscated the printing press, Desai created a sensation by bringing out a handwritten newspaper. In 1921, Desai was sentenced to 1 year of rigorous imprisonment for his writings. In prison, Desai saw that the jail authorities mistreated prisoners, frequently flogging them. His report describing life inside the jail, published in Young India and Navjeevan, compelled the British authorities to bring about drastic jail reform measures.
Following his release in 1933, he was rearrested and detained in the Belgaum jail. It was during this time in prison that he wrote Gita According to Gandhi, which was posthumously published in 1946. He also played a role in organizing people's movements in the princely states of Rajkot and Mysore in 1939. Desai was also in charge of selecting satyagrahis during the individual satyagrah of 1940. Following the Quit India Declaration of the 8th of August 1942, he was arrested on the morning of 9th of August 1942 and interred with Gandhi at the Aga Khan Palace till his death 6 days later due to a massive heart attack.
When Desai stopped breathing, Gandhi called out to him in agitation, "Mahadev! Mahadev!" When Gandhiji was later asked why he had done so, he answered, "I felt that if Mahadev opened his eyes and looked at me, I would tell him to get up." He had never disobeyed me in his life. I was confident that if he had heard those words, he would have defied even death and got up. Gandhi himself washed Desai's body, and he was cremated on the Aga Khan Palace grounds, where his samadhi lies today. We pay tribute to a man who symbolized great devotion in the work destiny assigned to him. On the 1st of January 1848, India's first school for girls was started at Bhidewada in Pune by Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and Savitribai Phule.
Mahatma Jyotirao Phule had realized that education of women and depressed classes was vital to their emancipation.
The school created outrage among the conservatives, and due to social pressure, the Phule couple was sent out of their home. Thus, the school was stopped for some time. During this period, their friend Usman Sheikh and his sister Fatima Sheikh supported them.
The Phule couple later restarted the school at Chiplung Karwada in Pune on the 3rd of July 1851. On the first day of the school, merely 8 girls were on the roll. Soon, the number began to increase. Girls from different religions, castes and socio-economic backgrounds would come to study.
प्यार से उसने ठाना करना वार, अपने संग सवित्री बाई को भी किया तैयार.
The couple not only taught the students but also provided them with clothes and other basic amenities which were denied to them by society.
In 1852, there were 3 Phule schools in operation. 273 girls were pursuing education in these schools.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by the Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak, Jago. Welcome back to the evening news. In some more news, India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 145 crore 40 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 84 crore 54 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as the first dose, while over 60 crore 85 lakh doses have been administered as a second dose. Union Health Ministry has said that more than 22 lakh 56,000 vaccine doses were administered till 7 p.m. today. As a part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre is supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. An earthquake of magnitude 5.1 on the Richter scale jolted the Kashmir Valley this evening. The epicenter of the earthquake was said to be Afghanistan-Tajikistan border. No loss of life or property has been reported so far.
The funeral mass for South African anti-apartheid campaigner Archbishop Desmond Tutu took place at the Anglican Cathedral in Cape Town. Tutu, a Nobel Peace Prize winner who helped end the racist regime in South Africa, died last Sunday aged 90. Tutu had insisted there should be no lavish spending on the funeral. He wanted the cheapest available coffin. Family, friends, clergy and politicians were among those who gathered at St. George's Cathedral for Saturday's service, which had limited numbers because of coronavirus restrictions. Tutu was one of the driving forces behind the movement to end the policy of racial segregation and discrimination enforced by the white minority government against the black majority in South Africa from 1948 until 1991. Germany has shut down 3 of its 6 nuclear power plants as part of the country's phase-out of nuclear energy and turned its focus to renewables. The government decided to speed up the phasing out of nuclear power following Japan's Fukushima reactor meltdown in 2011 when an earthquake and tsunami destroyed the coastal plant in the world's worst nuclear disaster since Chernobyl in 1986. Germany aims to make renewables meet 80% of the power demand by 2030 by expanding wind and solar power infrastructure. The closures take place as Europe faces one of its worst ever energy crisis and as nuclear power is once again gaining support as it produces significantly less carbon dioxide. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today inaugurated the 26th Annual Dhaka International Trade Fair, DITF. She declared the ICT products and services as the product of the year 2022. Inaugurating the month-long trade fair virtually, Prime Minister Hasina urged the business community to explore new markets and diversify the product basket. She emphasized the need to improve the quality and standard of the existing export items.
And now let's take a quick look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have moderate fog. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum around 31. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata will have moderate fog. And Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong and Kohima will have partly cloudy skies. In some good news for Mumbaikars on the first day of the new year, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has given a big gift to the Mumbaikars and announced a decision to waive property tax on houses up to 500 square feet. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Innovation in farming is the need of the hour, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi, releases 10th installment of Pradhan Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme of over 20,000 crore rupees. Home Minister Amit Shah says government committed to making farmers self-reliant. Registration for COVID vaccination of children between 15 and 18 years begins on CoWIN portal. Prime Minister to lay foundation stone of Major Dhyan Chand Sports University in Meerut tomorrow. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir orders a high-level inquiry into today's stampede in Vaishno Devi. Ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees to be given to next of kin of deceased from PM's Relief Fund. And Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan launches nationwide 100 days reading campaign, Padhe Bharat. And with that we end the evening news. Good night.